Welcome back to West Texas View.
This has been so much fun for me to visit with Corbin Young, who's the Executive Director of Fellowship for Christian Athletes, and learn more about it. I already thought I knew everything about it, but I'm finding out I don't. And so Corbin was talking to us just before the break about the people that are, the chapters that are in the West Texas area that that he supervises, and we were saying, be sure and take the number down. If your community doesn't have one, well, you can call him. But these are in community colleges and senior colleges, and it's open for both male and female.
Definitely. And
has always been. That's what's so unusual.
Yeah.
It was started in 1954, but the Title IX that gave equal status to women didn't start until the 70s, so you were way ahead of your time.
No, we're very blessed to be able to say FCA has been very equal since the beginning.
And you have pretty much equal numbers in it, even though
definitely.
A lot of times it seems like a lot of the advertising is aimed at males. That's not true.
Yeah. Well, and if anything, it's just like churches today. A lot of times the women
are
the ones who step up because the men are absent, and so it looks very similar sometimes within FCA. And I would even say it's not exclusively for athletes. You know, it's something that we sometimes get very stereotypical about. Oh, well, Fellowship of Christian Athletes is for athletes. We actually on campuses, it's open to anyone. You know, I guess the mission statement of FCA is to impact the world for Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes. And so it's not just to only share the gospel and equip athletes and coaches, but to all whom they influence.
Big fans and supporters.
And so there's a lot of people on the campuses who are involved with FCA and in the communities who really have nothing to do with sports. They just love Jesus and they want athletes to love Jesus. And so that's really, I just want to throw that out there, that you don't have to be an athlete to be involved.
Not know that.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I'm really interested in how you reach all of the people you do, all these small communities all over our West Texas area. And you have to have funds to do that. So how do you operate?
Yeah, well, and we have a great leadership board locally that helps me do that, so that I can stay plenty busy on these campuses trying to minister to coaches and building relationships with these kids. And then part of my role is also to maintain the support for this nonprofit organization. We're eventually going to have events locally that are, banquets and golf tournaments. We've got some stuff like that coming up in the fall. But really, probably the most promising thing is just to have donors, as many involved as possible, at whatever level, giving monthly.
And most of them understand that are involved in it, because they know that you've got to have funds to operate. You don't get any state funds or national funds.
We're 100% locally funded, and so FCA is as strong in the local area as the community supports it.
Well, I know we just got through having one in my hometown, a clay shoot for FCA, because one of the things they say is we don't want anybody not to be a member of FCA because of funds.
Right. We send kids this summer who they can't afford to go to a camp for $350, and so we have people who give just, if you don't want to give monthly or annually, if you want to give just a one-time scholarship donation, $350 sends a kid to camp.
Or any
it
portion
could change their life
thereof.
forever. Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about the camp, because I know that it's been, again, open to male and female, just like a church camp, really.
Yeah, it really is. And
where do ours go?
There's over 450 camps worldwide. Now, we have 7 that we specifically promote statewide right here within Texas, and then we have 2 really great camps just right here in West Texas. One of them we just had, a great camp with 450 kids at Hardin-Simmons University. That was our leadership camp. We pour into the kids who lead on these campuses. And then actually I'm taking off tomorrow to head to Lubbock. And Texas Tech University is our host campus for our sports camp in West Texas. And so that'll be June 28th through July 1st. This upcoming week. And
so they really stay in the dormitories?
They stay in the dorms, and then they use all of Tech's Division I facilities. The football players are on Jones Stadium. The baseball players are on Dan Law. So they're all out there to play their sport. And a lot of them, to be honest, are just coming to get better at their sport and to play where the Red Raiders play. But we hope that as we're able to pour into them physically as athletes, most importantly our goal is to pour into them spiritually, to reach the heart of the athlete. and
to
impact
help them understand
Sure.
their sphere of influence.
Oh, definitely.
And how important they can be to
Definitely.
those people coming up.
Yeah, we hope to send
or
them back to their
teammates.
campus better athletes, but ultimately better leaders.
Yeah. And to learn the leadership of Jesus is a great lesson in itself.
Yes.
Well, you have a lot of volunteers, not only
do.
the board members that volunteer and that are great supporters, but talk about some of the other volunteers.
Yeah, we one of the biggest things we do is we partner with churches. And so we have, whether they're staff, youth ministers who help us with events. We have an event in the fall called Fields of Faith that we couldn't do without churches. And the follow-up discipleship that youth ministers and pastors provide, we can't do that. We just don't have the manpower. And then there's members of churches and members in community who support this ministry, whether it be financially or with their time. Is such a huge thing to give to us. And so they serve at all different capacities, whether it's just through an event or weekly on a Bible study on campus or in the summer through camps. A lot of different ways for volunteers to get involved and plugged in.
And again, use this number that's rolling across the screen to contact you if they want to volunteer, if they want to know more about the meetings and how to get involved, how to access it. And really all they have to do is talk to a coach or to call you. And,
Definitely.
And you'll get plugged in.
They may have FCA and they just don't realize it. So talk to someone at your school, or if you don't have it and you want to start it, call my number, email me. I will say our website is PermianBasinFCA.org. That website shows a list of all the schools we have active with FCA and those that we're trying to start one. And so that would be a great starting place as well.
Well, and let's talk just for a second about where you are now, because you're located in a new office.
Oh, great facilities. Midland Shared Spaces, wonderful place. I can't say enough about what Abel Hanger Foundation has done. And if you haven't had a chance to step foot on that, it's just a wonderful facility.
Yes, and it has become an absolute magnet for other communities that want to do that concept of putting a lot of nonprofits
And that's what interested
together.
us as FCA, really starting out new with staff in this area. And when we saw the opportunity to work with other nonprofits and be a part of the community through this, that collaboration was huge.
It has been wonderful to have Corbin Young here today and to talk about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We'll see you next Sunday with another program, and in the meantime, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.